Hey guys, thanks for checking in. Appreciate you stopping by. I wanted to recap a few of the videos that I've recently put out. They're the first videos in my YouTube channel, so bear with me. Hopefully, how I edit and what we do with them are going to be a lot better as time goes on, and I get the hang of the editing, putting those together for you guys. But I wanted to take a little bit of time since those didn't have any commentary, and in case you're, it's going to be your first time out to Europe, specifically Rome, talk about some of the things that I experienced and got to do as we were out there, maybe things to consider, and just overall just some things that I maybe wasn't aware of beforehand. So first of all, with Rome, ton of history. Everywhere you walk, you can just feel it. Just the way the city's constructed, you can tell, whether it's the architecture of the buildings, just the way the roads are done, some of those big attractions, it's very prominent and you notice it. So one of the things I wasn't prepared for with that is the roads are very narrow. So with that, you're going to notice a lot of mopeds and small engine motorcycles. And, I don't recommend getting a car to drive, whether, everywhere is pretty walkable and there's plenty of places to take breaks and whatnot. But if not, have someone that's familiar with driving out there take you, because just the main thing with those mopeds and those little motorcycles, they do a lot of lane splitting. So if you're not familiar with that and the fact that the roads are narrow, it was amazing. I didn't see any accidents out there, and everybody's great at driving in those conditions. The other thing with Rome is tons of great food, lots of good options. Definitely, if you haven't had it, you need to check out the gelato. A lot of the pasta options, definitely check them out. When it comes down to the food options, you're going to have your pick of what you want. You walk a few streets down in those busy sections of town, and there's going to be tons of options. A lot of the restaurants are going to have seating outside, which is nice depending on the time of the year that you go, being able to enjoy that outside dining. They're all going to have the menus outside to go ahead and view that for the most part. Some of them that I wasn't aware for charge a cover charge. So you can look at that as something just on top of the bill. I didn't look into it to see if that's considered a tip. The other thing too is some of the places in Rome we saw when paying, we used mostly the credit card everywhere to pay. Some of the places included an option for tipping. So it was kind of mixed in Rome as to compared to some of the other places in Europe. So just keep in mind. But I would definitely try out some of the places there. Tons of good options, and there's probably only maybe one of the dinner options that was very overpriced, and just the food and the service wasn't great. But I think outside of that, all the other places we visited were pretty good, and I'll post some of that in whether Instagram or some YouTube videos as well. As far as things to do and see, there's some couple good options I'll point out. Obviously, we only spent a few times there, so didn't have time to see and check out everything. But as far as just the experience there and maybe things I'd recommend, Trevi Fountain, busy at all times of the day. We just happened to stumble upon there in the morning, afternoon, and even at night. And it just seemed like it was always a popular attraction. One, because, people have seen it and it's a nice photo op, but also it's free and it doesn't cost anything, just maybe some of your time if you want to get one of those your picture or video right down in front of that. A couple other things to do, you got the Pantheon, things like visiting Vatican City and actually going into the Vatican. Those are going to require tickets, and if you're planning ahead of time and you're watching this before you go, I'd suggest if those are some of the things you want to do, that you go ahead and look at a travel tour operator and see where you can purchase those tickets. A lot of them are going to have solo tickets where you can view at your own pace. Others, Vatican may have where you go in groups, so then you can see some of those options. But if you're interested in that, I'd probably look at that ahead of time. We waited to the last minute while we were out down there, and it was hard to get tickets. But we were also there the week after the new Pope, Leo, was elected. So it was very busy. So it was a little difficult to get in there. So unfortunately, we didn't get in to see that as well. Some of the other things too to do, the Spanish Steps are neat. That doesn't cost anything. Very busy, especially in the afternoon. If you get up to the top, get some nice sunset views. You'll see some of those in some of my videos that I went ahead and posted for you guys. So something that we were able to do was the Colosseum. So we didn't make any plans going out there. We weren't sure what we wanted to do, but we decided let's do something on the second of our 2 days there. So we were able to get some Colosseum tickets. We were able to do that through Colosseum Rome Tickets, no affiliation, just wanted to mention who we use, and it was very easy to purchase those. Just keep in mind, if you do that, there's options for guided tours. You can also maybe look at private tours. We just did a self-paced. With that too, with all those tours, there's time windows. So they check your tickets a couple times when you get there. So make sure that you show up within 15 minutes of the time that's on your ticket. If not, they will turn you around. We got turned around just because we showed up 30 minutes early because we just mixed up the time that originally we purchased. Colosseum, if you've seen that video that I posted, there's one video dedicated to the Colosseum and the Roman Forum. It is very busy, so just know that when you go out there, there's going to be a lot of crowds. But even given that, there's a ton of space within there, especially when you get out into the open space to be able to get some of those pictures. The second floor at the Colosseum is going to have a lot of items to view, whether it's marble, architecture pieces, faces that they've been able to hang on to that weren't terribly damaged. Pottery is going to be there, some in good condition, some that's been damaged, but they've kind of tried to reconstruct that. So a lot of things to see within that, just to get an idea for the sense and the time that was all done. Once you get out into the open space within the Colosseum, there's outstanding. There's great views basically everywhere. So up on the second floor, you'll be able to walk around entirely. And from any of those vantage points, you can get photos and videos. There's one nice spot on the opposite end where there's a platform that you can go ahead and take some of those maybe selfies or just photos of the entire Colosseum. With the tickets that we bought, they were combo for Colosseum and the Roman Forum and the Palatine Hill. So with the Roman Forum, it's right across from the Colosseum. So with that, just know that there's going to be a ton of walking, a lot of time in the sun. There are some shaded areas, some bathrooms and places, nice gardens, especially on the hill, but that's going to require it's elevated, so it is going to require some steps, walking uphill. So just keep that in mind if you're expecting to do that. If you don't want to go up there, see some of the great views off of the Palatine Hill, outstanding views. You can see the entire forum. You can get a vantage point of the Colosseum. I highly recommend if you got the stamina and you can do that. So it's, all in all, with the Colosseum and the Forum, we were out there multiple hours. Just we weren't in a hurry. We wanted to spend some time. So lots of good things out there to see besides that as well. But all in all, our trip to Rome was, although it was short, just 2 days there before we had to move on to the cruise that we were taking. I'd say it was one of the top spots and visits that we had in Europe. If we get a chance to go back, I think we definitely will. We'll take some of what things I mentioned with booking some of those options as far as things like the Vatican and being able to take a tour in there, see a lot of that history, as well as some of the other places within Rome. I definitely think it's going to be a place that we'll want to revisit in the future. So let me know what you think about the videos, about my commentary here. I'd be more than happy to share any suggestions beyond what we just talked about and give any feedback for maybe areas to consider, other things to see and do. But overall, yeah, it was a great trip. So thanks for stopping by, and I look forward to continuing to get this channel and content coming out to you guys with some of the trips and letting you know my thoughts and feedback on some of those. So thanks. We'll see you later.